You've seen the iconic blue and yellow warehouse, the towering aisles of flat-packed furniture, and the meatballs. Oh, the meatballs. But what you haven't seen is a single IKEA advertisement. No Super Bowl commercial. No primetime TV blitz. No catchy jingle echoing through your head. And yet, IKEA pulls in over $44 billion every single year. How? How does a company with virtually no advertising budget dominate global retail? How did it grow from a remote Swedish village into one of the most powerful home furnishing empires in the world? And how does it keep scaling, even as traditional retailers collapse all around it? The answer lies in one of the most masterfully engineered business models on Earth. IKEA doesn't advertise, it architects. Every product, every store, every pathway you walk through is part of a larger strategy. A blueprint that prioritizes supply chain dominance, psychological design, customer labor, and global pricing manipulation, all without a dime spent convincing you to buy. So how did they do it? This is the story of how IKEA became a silent retail superpower, and why spending money on ads would only slow them down. Let's rewind to 1943. A 17-year-old Swedish boy named Ingvar Kamprad launches IKEA with a simple goal: sell goods cheaply and deliver them directly to customers. No middlemen, no fluff, just utility. His earliest products were pens, wallets, and watches, small, practical, and cheap. But Kamprad didn't just want to sell stuff. He wanted to solve a problem. Why does furniture cost so much? Furniture was bulky, it took up space. Shipping was a nightmare. And most importantly, it was assembled by the manufacturer, not the customer. That last part, Kamprad turned it into IKEA's secret weapon. Instead of shipping fully built chairs and wardrobes, IKEA started shipping flat-packed boxes. Customers would assemble the product themselves. IKEA would save on shipping, warehousing, and labor. And in a strange twist, customers would actually become more emotionally attached to the furniture they had to build. Psychologists would later call this the IKEA effect, the phenomenon where people place higher value on things they've partially created. IKEA didn't just lower its costs, it made you fall in love with the labor. Now think about what that means at scale. IKEA eliminates assembly cost, cuts shipping expenses by 70%, reduces damage during transit, and pushes the final step of labor onto you, willingly. This is customer outsourcing disguised as experience. But IKEA didn't stop there. Walk into any of their stores and you'll feel it instantly. The maze. IKEA stores are designed to guide you through a one-way labyrinth. You enter with a simple goal, maybe a desk or a lamp, but within minutes, you're caught in a curated flow of rooms, vignettes, and product pairings. You don't walk through IKEA, you're led through IKEA. This is retail psychology at its finest. Each turn reveals new ideas, setups, and micro-purchases. It's not just a store, it's an experience. And that experience is engineered to increase dwell time, basket size, and emotional connection. Most retailers push you to the checkout. IKEA pulls you deeper. And what happens the longer you stay? You buy more. Not because you're pressured, but because you're inspired. Now let's talk about pricing. IKEA is obsessed with being the cheapest. But their cheapness isn't just cost-cutting. It's strategic perception engineering. For every $1.29 lamp or $39 bookshelf, there's a carefully calculated balance. IKEA uses loss leaders, ultra-cheap items sold at or below cost, to anchor your sense of value. When you see a couch for $299 next to a $9 table lamp, the couch feels like a bargain. Even if IKEA's margin on the couch is 400%, you feel like you're winning. This is called price anchoring, and IKEA uses it ruthlessly. But there's more. Unlike traditional furniture stores that carry third-party brands, IKEA designs, manufactures, and controls almost every product in-house. This vertical integration gives them total control over materials, costs, and supply chains. They don't just sell furniture, they own the ecosystem. In fact, IKEA is one of the world's largest buyers of wood. Not furniture wood, just raw wood. They own forests in Romania and the Baltic states. Why? Because controlling raw material is controlling cost certainty. When wood prices spike, IKEA doesn't flinch. They already bought the forest. Think about that for a second. While competitors scramble to source materials and negotiate contracts, IKEA is growing their own inventory, literally. Now combine that with scale. IKEA operates over 450 stores in more than 60 countries. But each store is more than just a showroom. It's a self-contained retail factory. Inside, you'll find warehouses, cafeterias, childcare centers, showrooms, checkout systems, and even mini apartment setups all under one roof. Why? Because IKEA doesn't want you browsing. They want you living in the experience. The food court? That's not just for convenience. It's part of the psychological flywheel. Studies have shown that satiated customers spend more. IKEA's $1 meatballs aren't just delicious. They're conversion tools. You're not just shopping. You're investing time. You're immersed. You're committed. This is why IKEA doesn't need to advertise. The store is the advertisement. But what about digital? Surely IKEA runs Instagram or YouTube ads? Not quite. IKEA's digital strategy focuses on content creation, influencer partnerships, and user-generated design hacks. People post IKEA room setups, bookshelf transformations, and creative builds on social media for free. IKEA has become one of the most user-shared brands on Earth without lifting a finger. Why? Because their products are blank canvases for creativity. Need a standing desk? Hack a kitchen counter and table leg. Want a bookshelf wall? Stack 6 Billy bookcases. People aren't just buying furniture. They're buying possibility. And possibility is the most viral product of all. Now let's break down the numbers. In 2023, IKEA reported revenue of $44.6 billion. That's more than Target, more than eBay, and nearly as much as Nike. And how much did they spend on traditional advertising? Less than 1% of revenue. Most of that was spent on seasonal catalogs and digital visuals. But even those are shrinking. IKEA's marketing budget has dropped steadily over the past decade, even as sales continue rising. So what's really going on here? IKEA isn't in the business of selling furniture. It's in the business of behavioral design. Every aspect of the business, from the DIY assembly to the store layout, to the pricing, to the cafeteria, is designed to manipulate behavior in a way that creates brand evangelists, encourages word of mouth, and reduces marketing dependency. They don't need to run ads when every customer becomes a walking billboard. Now here's the final twist. IKEA isn't even structured like a normal business. It's owned by a Dutch non-profit foundation designed to avoid hostile takeovers and ensure perpetual reinvestment. Profits are recycled into operations, sustainability efforts, and global expansion. This structure protects IKEA from short-term investor pressure, allowing them to play the longest game in retail. They don't chase quarterly growth, they engineer decades of dominance. So the next time you walk into an IKEA, remember, every aisle, every shortcut, every bargain, it's all part of a quiet strategy designed to eliminate the need for advertising forever. IKEA didn't build a $44 billion empire by screaming at you with ads. It whispered with strategy and let you do the selling for them. The next time you walk through one of their perfectly designed showrooms, just remember, every step you take is part of a plan. If that blew your mind, wait until you see how Costco loses money on chicken and turns it into millions. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who still thinks marketing is about commercials. Welcome to the quiet power of modern business.